Travel 101 and welcome back to another travel video. Today I'm going to be talking about my layover experience when I flew from Melbourne to Shanghai through to Frankfurt with a 16-hour transit in between. Now I know a long transit might turn a lot of people off, but I'm going to tell you why I actually enjoyed my long transit and why you should consider a long transit on your next trip. Now before I get right into it, I just wanted to let you know that before you decide to transit through China, you do need to be aware that you will need a visa to transit through this country. That means you will need to apply for a visa when you arrive, but it is completely free. So if you'd like more information about the free transit visa, I can link at the end of this video a couple of videos I've made which explain my experience getting the visa and how you can guarantee you get approved on the spot. So let's dive into the first reason why I chose to do a 16-hour layover, and the first one, which is probably the most obvious, is price. So price was the main reason I chose to fly Air China. Overall, I ended up saving $300 when I factored in the cost of the transit hotel and the price of the flight. I had actually never flown Air China before, so I was taking a little bit of a gamble flying an airline that didn't have a lot of positive reviews. But I do honestly feel like Air China was really great value for money. You get what you pay for, and I felt safe and the aircraft was consistently kept clean, so I did win overall in this instance. So if you're planning to do a long layover, make sure you have an airline and a transit hotel that actually end up fitting within a reasonable budget to make it worthwhile the money. All it cost me was just some extra time. Now another reason why I chose to do this 16-hour transit layover was because it would give me a hotel room to recharge in. I've had quite a few transits where I've ended up having a quick face wash and toothbrush at the airport, end up having an overpriced meal and just being uncomfortable for a good few hours. In this instance, I got to go to the hotel, I got to sleep in a comfortable bed, I got to have a proper shower and have a great breakfast there. And I had a free transfer back to the airport as well. So this worked out seamless for me, and I would definitely do a transit hotel like this again. I didn't personally do this on this trip, but you can actually do a bit of sightseeing while you're transiting in a country as well. So if you had a 16-hour layover like I did, you could actually leave the hotel and explore your surroundings. It's a great way to see a new country, have I guess a mini holiday before your main holiday starts as well. So if you do have a 16-hour layover, or even from 6 hours, you can actually leave the airport and enjoy a bit of sightseeing before you get on your final flight. Now in saying all this, I'm obviously talking about a really positive experience, and that's because I did my research. When you transit in a country, you need to make sure you have a look prior to booking the tickets to see if you actually can do the things like leave the airport and get a transit hotel. Unfortunately, not all countries will allow this, so this does come down to your research. So here are the main points you need to look at before you book a flight with a really long layover. Firstly, you need to make sure you can actually leave the airport. Secondly, you need to make sure you don't need a visa to leave the airport. But if you're transiting through China, most countries can apply for the visa-free transit. But some countries will actually require you to pre-apply for a visa, and some of them are quite expensive as well. So this again is something you need to weigh up before you actually book your ticket. Thirdly, is the transit hotel within budget? If it's going to completely blow out your flight budget, I would not bother transiting and I would just go for a more expensive flight. But if it's going to save you hundreds of dollars like it did in our instance, it's definitely worthwhile considering. But make sure you do compare the prices of transit hotels and the price of your flight together to see if it is worth it. And lastly, you need to make sure your transit is actually long enough for you to leave the airport. It would be a horrible mistake to actually book a transit hotel and not have a long enough stay over to actually enjoy the hotel or do sightseeing if you planned a whole itinerary. So make sure you have a look to make sure you do have enough time to do this, and this simply can be done by just checking the distance of the hotel or the tours or the sites that you would like to see. Okay, so we hope we shed some light about how you can enjoy a 16-hour layover like I did. As I said, I would definitely do a long layover like this again if I was in this sort of situation. It's definitely something you should consider as well. Now let us know in the comments below if you've had a long layover experience and how that went for you. And as always, thank you so much for watching. We cannot wait to see you in our next video.